Hey everyone, thanks for coming out and checking out this very important national security data set if you find mass shootings to actually be a national security threat. Now, I'm just going to upload this. It takes a while. It's a big data set, import it. And then after we import a data set, the CSV file, we have to attach it. So let's attach this sucker. Just mass, and it'll pop up right there. Mass shooting data base set 82 to 2023. Wow, 82 before you were all born. So this is a pretty extensive one. It has the cases, location. Just the goal here is to understand, just you don't have to run incredible, advanced statistics and statistical model to understand something. So I just want to take a look at a few things. Fatalities, right? And here we have another row. Type, mass esprit. Mass is when the lamentable situation happens and it's all, killed at the same time. They do a mass killing. Spree is when they kill a few people and then they go to another place, etc. Now, how we operationalize these things really depends. So there's also serial, which is like a serial killer, unfortunately. Fortunately, I want to stress there's a lot less because we can find them. They're just readily available to find. But the mass murder is basically this singular incident that is continuous and somewhat short-lived, but a spree is a series of murders. So they're committed in, a very short period of times, but it's like a series, typically lasting days a week. Now, serial killers are different. This isn't in the data set, but just to tell you, thank God for DNA evidence and stuff like that. But that's a bunch of murders like with a cooling off period where you essentially, like Ted Bundy, a horrible human being, used to go and kill different women and, he'd go work. I mean, the guy was a lawyer, which is unbelievable. So anyways, the point here is we're doing mass and spree. If you just take one function table, right? Look at right here, just in the base, and you put, okay, type, right there, type, ba-boom. There, you have mass and spree. So that little function table tells us a lot, right? Like, wow, there's only 22 sprees, but there's 127 mass shootings. So we need to be prepared much more for mass shootings, right? So we have to start looking at that. That's just one way to look at the data. So just with that little quick function table, we learned something, right? There's 127 versus 22. Now, one of the things I also wanted to use is Tapley. I did it before, but this also shows you, which is kind of cool. I'll just get rid of it for now. Put up here. You have this over here. You have, wait, where am I? Oh, this little here, history. And that history is pretty cool because then you can just come back, take a look. Oh, what am I looking for? Oh, the Tapley. This is another function. Oh, here it is, Tapley. So we're going to use this. So this is actually pretty cool. So then twice and it comes up. Tapley, again, I'll show you just really quick. Put in the Y and it'll pop up. It's just from the base. When anytime it says the base, that's essentially in Rstudio. There are no packages. So Tapley, I'm putting mass shooting database. That's the name, and I'll show you here. You do first the numbers you want to do, but when you hit the $sign, that's to keep the dollar in power. All of the variables here come up after you put the data set. So here, let me go 1, 2. Oops. Let's just go back here. I do that. Okay, look at that. Here we find the data set. Pretty cool. And then I hit the dollar. All of the variables come up. Look at that. So here we just want to see fatalities. There's a lot of different ones, injured, etc. So you have the dollar sign, fatalities, then comma, and then mass shootings again, but this time we do type. And fun function, F-U-N, equals sum. We just want to look at the sum of these different ones. So you look at this, and the fatalities from mass shootings, 1,005. The fatalities from spree, 144. Right there, you start seeing it's significantly higher with the mass. But are you more likely, according to the algorithm, which we'll do after, be killed in mass or spree? Well, there's a lot more mass, right, than spree. It doesn't necessarily mean you'll be, from a practical standpoint, you will be, unfortunately, lamentably, killed more likely by mass because there's more. But when you put them together, that's also a lot of spree murders, unfortunately, relative to the amount of spree. So it's 144, 22, 127, there's 1,005. So even though you're having, you have a good amount of mass murders, well, you have a good amount of killings, but the same thing goes with spree. Although you have a very small amount compared to the mass, you still have a pretty large number of people dying from the lamentable situation with spree. So the goal here was simple. Number one, you don't have to do always fancy statistics. We just learned 2 quick facts from this data set and running it in our Rstudio rather quickly. We first got the, and then I'll just show you up here. I go to this. Let's go to table, right? Table again. Oh, okay, here it is. There's the type. So we know the type. There's mass, 127 spree, 22. And then we can go back up here to environment. This is just to remind you that, you don't have to always think, oh, I have to do it again, Then I hit there. Oh, there it is. So this is the number of fatalities here, fatalities. Let me get out my magic pen. These are the fatalities of the mass shootings. And these are the type right here of the mass shootings. And then you have FUN equals sum. Sum is actually together. So that's pretty interesting. So we just got some really good information in a matter of just 20 seconds, although I can talk for a lot longer. And I want to stress this, that our studio is useful and it's free in national security law and a broad range of other themes and subjects that you can use. Like this might be, for example, maybe gender, male, female promotions. Oh, why are there only 22 promotions for women opposed to 177 for men, or vice versa, right? So you can do a lot with Rstudio. This just happens to be national security. Thanks for listening, everyone, and I hope you really enjoyed the quick understanding Tapley and table. Take care, everyone.